Now at 6, President Donald Trump signaling he may call on the National Guard to come into Chicago to tackle crime.
He made the threat while announcing the White House is sending the National Guard into the streets of Washington, D.C., despite a double-digit drop in crime. Political reporter Chris Tye is here with a look at all the moving parts, Chris.
And there are quite a few of them, Joe and Erica. This was all set in motion when a member of the Trump Doge team was attacked in an attempted carjacking in Washington, D.C. earlier this month. It now has the National Guard headed to the streets of D.C. as Chicago was told you could be next. Here is how the president framed it.
We're going to do the same thing in Chicago, which is a disaster.
A warning shot there to Chicago as protests in Washington unfolded today over the president's decision to deploy federal forces in the nation's capital. But Trump had more to say on our local leadership.
We have a mayor there who's totally incompetent. We have an incompetent governor there. Pritzker's an incompetent.
Governor Pritzker pushing back, saying Trump doesn't have the authority, but that may not stop him.
He has absolutely no right and no legal ability to send troops in to the city of Chicago. The Nazis in Germany in the 30s tore down a constitutional republic in just 53 days. It does not take much, frankly, and we have a president who seems hell-bent on doing just that.
Mayor Johnson saying if President Trump wants to help make Chicago safer, he can start by releasing the funds for anti-violence programs that have been critical to our work to drive down crime and violence. Sending in the National Guard, he said, would only serve to destabilize our city and undermine our public safety efforts. Trump framing the rollout in D.C. this way.
And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control. In addition, deploying the National Guard to help reestablish law, order, and public safety in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be allowed to do their job properly.
Police data shows violent crime is down 26% in the district over the last year. Homicides down 12%.
And while this action today is unsettling and unprecedented, I can't say that given some of the rhetoric of the past, that we're totally surprised.
The president also targeting the homeless in Washington, D.C.
We have slums here. We're getting rid of them. I know it's not politically correct. You'll say, oh, so terrible. No, we're getting rid of the slums where they live.
A White House official late today saying the National Guard likely to remain in D.C. for 30 days, which, by the way, is the maximum amount of time allowed under the law without action from Congress. Joe and Erica.
Yeah, now, Chris, the conversation around sending the National Guard to a state like Illinois is different than the D.C.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, D.C., not a state. There is no governor there. The president has a little more alacrity to kind of handle this and manage that, and different than what might happen here in Illinois. Though, remember, the president sent the National Guard to Los Angeles back in June. Even though it's not technically legal, as Governor Pritzker put it, that is now entangled in the courts, but they showed up and they went.
All right. Chris, thank you.
You bet.